At our strategy, we focus on regimes, not headlines. We use probabilities to understand risk before it shows up in prices. This is about sequencing, not predicting the exact top. This year may look calm on the surface, but underneath it could feel much harder, not because everything breaks, but because leadership changes. That difference matters more than people expect. We are reacting to an interview with Mark Newton from Fundstrat. He lays out a path where markets stay supported short term, then face a potential 15 to 20% drawdown later in the year. Directionally, this is not a crash call. The magnitude he flags is meaningful, but not catastrophic. The relationship is key. Index weakness driven by mega cap tech, not collapsing earnings. This is happening because markets are concentrated in a few stocks. And when those stocks stop rising, the index usually struggles even if other sectors are fine. That is how you get frustration without a recession. In our strategy terms, this looks like rising phase 2 pressure. That means multiple compression and rotation, not forced selling yet. So what changes is how tight we manage risk. If this plays out, passive index exposure can feel worse than expected. Meanwhile, dispersion increases across sectors. That creates winners and losers at the same time. The first stress shows up in high-duration tech and megacaps. These names are sensitive to yields and sentiment. Smaller and non-tech areas may hold up better initially. This matters because long-term rates do not need to spike to cause damage. Even modest upward pressure raises discount rates. When that happens, growth stocks usually derate first. He also highlights gold and silver being very extended. Parabolic moves feel safest right before volatility rises. That shifts risk-reward even if the long-term story is intact. This is happening because more people notice the move late. And when that happens, price swings usually get sharper in both directions. That is when discipline matters most. Energy is a different story. After a long period of underinvestment, supply tightens. That is why oil can work later, even if growth slows first. We separate core exposure from tactical risk. We define exits before volatility forces decisions, and we keep optionality for drawdowns instead of chasing late moves. Quick note before we continue. This is educational market analysis, not financial advice. We focus on process, probabilities, and risk awareness. If this way of breaking markets down is useful, subscribing helps you. It keeps you focused on regimes and risk before headlines hit, and it helps build consistency in how you think through uncertainty. Over the next 6 to 9 months, Phase 2 risk looks elevated. Phase 3 only rises if credit spreads widen and funding stress appears. Until then, this is about compression, not collapse. What changed is the risk of index drag from tech concentration. What did not change is the absence of broad credit stress. That distinction keeps us patient, not panicked. We do not need to be early. We just cannot afford to be late.